Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth with the Inner Lightning Oracle, here to have a special look at 2024, what's coming. And the first thing I'd like to do is just pick a card for 2023, just having a little bit of closure for the year that came to pass. 2023 ended, and we just want to say farewell to that year. And that year, so for the farewell, we're getting Purifying Winds, a metal card, and it's just letting go. So really being able to acknowledge all the successes, everything that was wonderful about it, saying farewell to all the failures, everything that didn't go your way, just being able to close the door, release and let go. And that will set the tone for this reading as we look ahead into what's coming up. In February, we're going to have, or maybe it's actually late January, I need to check the date, but the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year is coming. It will be a wood dragon year, so that year is reflective of growth, both spiritual and physical, on the physical plane as well. So we're going to look ahead from the solar calendar, not the lunar calendar, since we just had the new year yesterday. So one more time, we'll just take a quick shuffle and then put these cards out. And I'm going to choose this pile. Put these other two away and look at the month by month coming up. So our first card for January is the intuition card. It is a wood card, clear vision, inner knowing. I'll go over these all in detail, but we'll lay them out first. For February, we're looking at collecting. This is a water card, a concentrated and focused energy. For March, we have the late summer card. Interesting. In March, this is a season of Earth, which is a harvest card. So we can look at that in a moment. And April, we have the moon baby. The path clears by the light of the moon. Coming up in May is Ojizo Sama. This Japanese deity. Let's try to pull him a little bit more into the circle here. And then for June, we're looking at the summer card. So we're seeing the seasons showing up quite a bit. And then July, we have the nourishment card for July. This is another earth card. For August, we have the motivation card, inspired, making decisive choices. For September, we have the dragon card, the dragon emperor, ruler of the four seas. And for October, we're showing the loyalty card. She's a love, protecting the peaceful home. Now we have for November, we're showing the receiving card, a water card, and then we're going to end in December, essence of fire. Very interesting, closing out the year with the essence of fire. And then one more card for sort of like a summation of this year is the restoration card. Restoration prepares for the arrival of goodness. So it looks like this year in totality will be a restoration year, which is very interesting. It is the only time in this whole reading that we see the metal element showing up in a card. This overview card for 2024 is particularly poignant because all of the metal cards in this deck, usually the 6 metal cards deal with clearing, purification and cutting away. This is the only metal card, the element of metal, that actually talks about restoring and patching things up. And it looks like that's a very important theme for this year, especially with all the crisis happening. The metal card as an overall restoration seems extremely important. I did a oracle night at the acupuncture school locally here, and this card came up a lot, and I realized this is a needle. And these are genes patching up a little patch here, so it can also mean the needle card or acupuncture, maybe a need for acupuncture for healing in that way. So that is the restoration card as an overview for the whole year. Now let's look at January. January is asking us to look deeply into our intuition, really connect with that to set the energy for the year, accessing that intuition as we prepare for the year ahead, thinking about what seeds we want to plant, what projects we want to work on. Everything ahead of us requires our attention to our intuition and our inner knowing. So allowing that to happen. In February, it seems like this is a water card, but it also seems like a continuation of the intuition card, and that we have this woman or man meditating in front of a body of water. And the sky above also indicates that we are the cosmos, we are an extended unification of the nature around us and within us, and really connecting with that oneness to understand how we are going to specify our uniqueness in this year. So the collecting card has to do with collecting nature, collecting the energy of nature, collecting the energy of our oneness, and expanding to the level of the stars, expanding outward as we meditate and go inward. That is February. In March, we're seeing the first season card, which is this harvest card. So late summer, season of earth. The earth energy starts to come through in March as the spring flowers come up and things start to grow. And in this wood year, that's very common. And late summer, this is an in-between time. It's almost like a waiting time, a time to look back on what was harvested in the past and the successes that you have achieved, and a feeling of satisfaction, which is the earth energy coming forward in March. Sort of like a pause for March. And now in April, we see our first non-element card. This is a spirit level card. It's the moon baby. The path clears by the light of the moon. And it's asking us again to have faith. Have faith in the ocean of our universe. Have faith that even though the answer is not clear, the moon is there behind the clouds, the light is coming. And light will shine and become clear. It's just an issue of faith and surrender for April. In May, it looks like some challenges may have come up between the moon and between April and May. We may be seeing some challenging times. And so we have this protector energy calling us to hang on to our light, to hang on to our clarity, to use the tools that we have, the grounding tools that we have, the wisdom that we have, to dig deep into our spiritual resources, and always knowing that Ojizo is there also as a protective energy. This deity is the patron saint of children, pregnant mothers, travelers. So maybe some traveling coming up for some of you in May. Maybe some good news regarding children coming up in May. But for some of us, we might really need this protection energy, and to use our light to protect us, to use our light to guide us during this time. For June is a summer card, so this season is on target, on point. We see our first fire card of the year showing up in June, the season of fire. So this is a celebratory card. It's encouraging us to use our fire, use our energy, take a lot of action during this month, really celebrate and enjoy the month of June, and recognize that we have a lot of energy and that the light has come. The day is here. For July, we're looking at the nourishment card. So we see our second earth card of the year showing up, and it says cherishing all aspects of wellness. So not just nourishing ourselves with what we eat, but also what we hear, what we see, what we listen to, what we smell, what we feel, using the 5 elements and the 5 senses to really nourish our whole system, and making sure that we are cultivating nourishment in the entertainment that we watch, in the news that we consume. If it's not nourishing you, shut it down. So that's July. We have another earth card showing up in August. This is the motivation card, inspired, making decisive choices. So August is asking us to be clear, have clarity about our what we're deciding, and that will help us with where we're going, will help us with our direction. Even though it's an earth card, there is movement in this when you put wind in your sails. And the wind in your sails comes from your passion, comes from knowing what you desire and being willing to take the action to move forward on that. So that's August. So these months, June, July, and August, we're seeing a lot of movement in here. The earlier months are a little more quiet, meditative, makes sense as you're preparing and moving into the more active months. For September, we're seeing the Dragon Emperor, ruler of the 4 seas. This card is really about our emotions, and the dragons rule water. So having control of our emotions, not letting our emotions control us, but allowing them to flow, allowing our emotions to feel what we feel in September, but also to be in a state of power around that and not be controlled by it. And the dragon, you see this pearl of wisdom here at the dantian, and that's near the second chakra. That second chakra relates to our emotional center. So we're allowed to have our emotions. It's what makes us human. It's what allows us to experience life fully here in the physical plane. But it's also wisdom around those emotions, understanding they're fleeting and passing, and shouldn't be in control of us. They are one piece of our vast and miraculous human system. So that's the Dragon Emperor. This is the 3rd spirit level card that we're seeing in the year. And the 4th one, it comes in October. And this is the loyalty card. She's a love, protecting the peaceful home. This is often a card dealing with relationships. So making sure you're cultivating peace in all of your relationships, your work relationships, family relationships, even couple relationships. This spiraling inward into the peaceful home. Whatever you cultivate at home will spiral outward into the world. So love begins at home, and all the things we wish to manifest in the world begin in our hearts and how we relate to each other. So that is October. Coming up in November, we see another water card, so we have this kind of balance. At the beginning and end of the year, we're seeing these water cards. This is the receiving card, and a little sprite is stepping into a pool here, receiving and showered with the blessings of nature. So at this time of year, really acknowledging that we are nature. We are part of this vast ecosystem, and nature gives to us, and how we treat nature will reflect back our experience of nature. So really receiving all those blessings of the physical world and our environment. That can also mean the harvest we have reaped during the year for the hard work we have put in. But the most important point of this card is receiving, being able to just relax, sit back, and be grateful for all of the blessings that we have in our life. So that's November. And finally in December, closing out the year with the essence of fire. So it looks like a big, fiery, high action time. It can also mean a choice or something new coming, possibly a new love coming at the end of the year. So we're seeing these flames ignite at the end of December. And overall, looking at this year, these two cards kind of are relating to the relationship and potential love. These are kind of relating to our internal space, as well as the moon baby. We're sort of receiving divine guidance and wisdom over here in April and May. There are it's quite a balance. So we're having these 4 spirit level cards here. We're having 3 earth element cards here. So a lot of grounding for this year. Spirit level cards and grounding, those are the dominant forces. We have a couple fire cards and a couple water cards balancing each other out. And we do have all 5 elements represented, as we are seeing the wood element at the beginning of the year. And we're seeing the metal element as an overall card, restoration card, and the metal element sort of overseeing this whole year, knowing what to clear, knowing what to keep and restore. And that is our 2024 New Year's reading. Thank you so much for listening. Be nourished, be well. I'm Elizabeth with the Inner Lightning Oracle. We have oracle decks and guidebooks in the, turn it this way. If you're interested in learning more, you can check out the links. And many, many blessings to you, and happy 2024.